Hi there, Eurobike Day 2. We've got a big day ahead, and I can assure you we've got some bangers. I'm now joined by Philippe and Robin from Effigear to talk through some of the details of this bike. Guys, first of all, suspension travel. What are we looking at? 170, 160?
Yeah, on the front we have 160 up to 180 millimeter. On the rear we have 165, if I'm correct?
165 millimeters, yes.
Yeah, and then you see here it's a full 29er, but we can have it as a mullet configuration as well, with just a flip chip on this one. We don't have it yet, but for production we will have a flip chip to adapt the two wheels configuration. About angles, my dear Robin?
Yes, angles. It will be 64 angles on the front.
Head angle, yeah.
Head angle. And
seat angle?
The seat angle will be around 78. Yes,
oh,
78 degrees. So a nice position to pedal.
I guess the great thing about this bike, guys, is obviously you've got the combined motor gearbox. What weight are we talking? Did you say about 4.8 kilos for the combination drive there?
Exactly. Yeah. For production, it will be 4.9 kilograms.
Yeah. And if you saw yesterday's video, this motor kicks out around about 130 newton meters of torque, which makes it arguably one of the most powerful e-mountain bikes on the market. We've got a 620 watt-hour battery in the down tube there. But folks, I mean, this whole simplicity down the back end here. You've got this sort of, really light back end. Obviously, less maintenance on the old-fashioned Durilla bikes.
And the rear suspension is working better because you don't have all this weight, so it's working better. Of course, when it comes to you don't have when you crash, you don't have troubles with your rear hanger and stuff. So this is, and no noise, So it's really the new trend for us, and we wanted this bike to be with the new trends in terms of geometry as well.
The big question, guys, is when are you thinking about production? I mean, you are thinking about production, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm thinking about production. Right now, I think we will have some prototypes in April, but for production we will have to wait a little bit. I don't know yet.
2023?
Yes.
This is the target?
Yeah, this is the target. This is a bike under development, and so I can't say anything more about.
Well, what I can say is, guys, you got my number. I can't wait to catch that flight to Lyon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Bulls are one of the few brands in the world that offer their e-mounted bikes with a range of motors and battery capacities. We're going to be taking a look at the Sonic Evo and E-Stream range, beginning with this one here, which is the Evo AM1, 750 watt-hour battery, 12 speed. We've got an integrated seat boost on there. This has got the latest smart system from Bosch, including that really new stealth-looking LED remote on the handlebar. 27.5, and very nice-looking bike. Moving now from carbon to an alloy frame, this is the E-Stream Evo AM6. Comes in at 7,699 euros. 29-inch wheels this time, front and rear, and a Bros S-Mag Pro. But the big news with this bike is the fact that it's an option to have a 925 watt-hour battery in this bike. Absolutely stunning looking bike. You've got Fox, you've got 12-speed, XTR, a Fox dropper post on there, and a really interesting display up there, which I've not seen before. Obviously that's a Brose setup, but super stealth on the handlebar. And the third option of motors is with this bike, which I think is possibly one of the best looking bikes in the whole show. This time it's a full carbon frame, some very nice touches, especially in the protection on the chainstay area there. Carbon wheels, 29-inch. It's got the Intend fork and shock on the bike. Obviously there's SRAM axis on it, TRP brakes, some really interesting Proxim grips on here, which I've not seen before. And yeah, it doesn't come cheap, however, 12,999 euros. The smart money, however, would be in a pair of bikes which are actually less than half the price. This is the Evo AM SL1. It's a carbon frame. It's got a seat dropper, Shimano EP8 motor on there, a bit of bling in the gold handlebar, and obviously the Kashima. So you got that, 5,199, or this one here, which has actually got a 925 watt-hour option. This is 5,300 euros. It comes with the Bros S-Mag Plus, remember, 95 newton meters of torque on that bike, 29-inch wheels. But this bike is alloy, but you know what? You can still get up the hills the same time. On the Brose stand now, and there's a Brose Drive S Mag motor in this very, very nice looking Rotwild RX 750 Ultra. And as you can imagine, the secret there is the fact it's got a 750 watt-hour battery. Full carbon fibre chassis, I'm guessing around about 130, 140 mil travel. Yeah, Rotwild. Great bikes from Croatia. They've got the G6 in 3 versions with the MPF motor kicking out 90 newton meters of torque and one of the lightest 700 watt-hour batteries in the world. Some super looking models here, but I really, really like the colorway on this G6.5. It comes with Formula Cura brakes, 27.5 wheels, Crank Brothers wheels, but they've recently come out with this bike, which is the T5. It's more of a commuting bike, but really, really nice design on it. Super stealth integrated battery in the down tube there. The T5 comes in around €5,000. Again, it's got the MPF motor there and of course the 700 watt-hour battery. And you know what? People talk about having bikes that must have fully integrated batteries, but I really like the fact that you can pop this battery out really quickly, take it in the house, charge it, and get on the road again. Really nice looking bike. Okay guys, it's Thok, not Thok. This is the TK01RR. 170mm travel rear, 180mm up front. It's got a bit of Swedish in the fork and the shock. It's got a bit of Italian in the tyres. And the reason for this is part of that reference to Ducati. These are the components that the motorcycle brand uses on their bikes too. Let's not forget the rental bar and stem in there as well. It comes in 4 sizes. It's got the Shimano EP8 motor in there with a 630 watt-hour battery. And I mean, what a stylish looking bike. Really? Now, whilst the TK01 comes in at €7,500, the recently launched Mega is $5,600. Now, this time it's a very different bike. We've got 150mm travel up front, 140 on the rear. It's mixed wheel size, 29, 27.5. Shimano EP8 motor on there with an external 630 watt-hour battery. Now, like I said, I really like external batteries because you simply detach them so quickly. 200mm discs on there. We've got Fox 36, got a dropper post, nicely integrated mudguard on there, and overall really nice looking bike. Bassano di Grappa, I just had to say that because I'll forget how to pronounce it, just outside Venice. Guys, I'm actually genuinely mind blown by this bike. I'm almost crying. It's ridiculous. I've never felt like this about an e-mountain bike in my life. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, oh yeah, I'll shut up. What have we got? We've actually got the longest travel e-mountain bike in the world. 250mm up front, 200 on the rear. It's full carbon. And where can I start? Let's start with the wheels, 27.5. Comes in 2 sizes. It's a company called Cybro, which I said is from just outside Venice. It's got a Zax motor on there, 110 newton meters. It's a pokey motor on this bike, 630 watt-hour battery. But maybe for me the centerpiece is the fact that it's got the Gates drive on it with a roll-off hub on the back, which as a downhill bike, and it is, let's face it, it is a full-on downhill machine. It's just like, wow. EXT shock on there from Franco Fratten, Italy as well. The Intend fork, which we saw yesterday on the show. We've got a Sigma display on there, rental bar and stem, Magura brakes. Now, the heart of this bike is this full carbon monocoque frame, which is actually the mold is made by the company that produce parts for Ferrari, Ducati. You kind of get the idea, right? There's some beautiful CNC parts in the linkages there. Guys, I mean, what do you think about it? It's just like, it's mind-blowing. How can someone just... I mean, this company just started a couple of years ago. They make 5 different bikes, and this is the latest in the range. I think they actually launched it here at the Eurobike show. For me, guys, definitely a standout bike, for sure. Guys, you might have seen yesterday we caught up with the guys from Ollie Motor from Modena in Italy. Well, it's great to see a bike sporting that motor and also an 882 watt-hour battery. This is a company called Torpado from Italy, 160mm travel, 29, 27.5. But like I said, great to see that Ollie Motor on some bikes. Very fond memories from riding the Marida range of bikes over the past 12 months. Remember, you've got the EPA, Shimano EPA equipped E160, but also the E140. Do not underestimate how capable a 140mm travel bike is. And remember, the Marida bike's really good money, talking 4.7 here for both this version and the 160. But also, here's the E140 400, 4499. Really good money for an e-mountain bike. But folks, the most important consideration is the component specification you get for that price. I've actually just noticed here as well, it's got the Shimano display, which you don't actually see on that many bikes. Super neat. Now, we saw the very beautiful Italian Cybro 210mm travel downhill bike earlier, a beautiful bike. And then we have this. I mean, I'm actually lost for words because it's probably the only motorcycle, yes, I did say motorcycle, only the motorcycle I've seen at the Eurobike Festival. Now, as e-mountain bikers, it's really important for us to protect land access, and maybe riding one of these things on the trails might not actually be ideal. Now, Chris Porter, who is the man behind Nicholai in the UK, has always said that e-bikes are motorbikes. Now, guys, let's know your thoughts on this, because that's a beast, right? But let's move on. Let's get on a positive note, because actually this bike here, I don't know if you saw the video we did in Finale at the end of EWS last year. This is the belt drive roll-off hub bike from Nicholai. I forgot the make of it, really sorry. But I climbed a technical climb on this bike with shopping on the back, which I guarantee you I would not have done on any other e-bike. It really is high performance climbing. I'd actually like to spend some time descending on it, not with shopping of course, but guys, what a bike. Hey guys, we're with CYC Motors, which is a bolt-on motor kit from Hong Kong. Two motors, we've got a 1500 watt and a 3000 watt. Yeah, I did say 3000 watt. Now the torque on these bikes, 150 newton meters for the 1500 and 250 newton meters for the bigger bike, right? Whoa, I mean that's a serious amount of power. Now when it comes to the batteries, we've got a range of batteries from 2.5 kilos to 5 kilos, right? Yeah. But my friend here has actually got a 2000 watt hour battery, weighs in at like 7 to 8 kilos. You use that, sorry to go out of the way here, use that in a backpack, so it's a clip-on kind of kit. Now, guys, I just want to point out that it's a super neat looking bolt-on, but you can actually only use these on private land. You can't usually use this on public trails because obviously the power is like insane. So just need to bear that in mind. But have to say, guys, very, very neat looking bit of kit. Folks, I'm kind of torn. I don't know what you guys think about that mid-drive motor we just looked at. I mean, you're adding 5 kilos to the bike. You're carrying a 5 kilo battery around in a backpack, and you're spending 1,200 euros on something which... Is it? I mean, it's super high power. You cannot use it on private land. So I'm not sure about it, but I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Meanwhile, this is something that's been on my priority list for many years, and that's to try and ride one of these Panasonic drives. 90 newton meters of torque, very neat motor, 600 watt hour battery. But I've just found out is that there's an automatic mode on the Panasonic unit. You've got Eco Standard, Auto, and high power. But what I really like about it as well is the fact it actually shows your range on the display in each of those modes. Sorry guys, I was tiptoeing out of the Panasonic tent when I was collared by the guys just to update us on the new 720 watt hour battery from BMZ. What I also didn't mention was the motor, the drive on it is the Ultimate GX drive from Panasonic. They've also got a new display for 2022. Again, shows all the modes and the range, which I think is really cool. Plus, of course, that automatic mode, which the guy walked in front of. This has been happening for days. For days. I know Jack's got some guy on a scooter behind him. Check it out, Jack. The joys of Eurobike. Okay, folks, just want to highlight the reality here of lunch between EMBN, blah, 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 and my colleague Ollie at GCN.
Actually, I'm actually a bit full, actually, Steve. I think this is probably... I've already had too many calories today, so better crack on, get more steps in.
Yeah, you won't find any bikes. I've always looked at the Shimano EP8 Rock Machine bikes as pretty good value for money. At the same time, if you live in 50 feet of snow, then maybe this floats your boat. Please, please, nothing but snow. I mean, why? What I really love about Eurobike is coming across brands which you've never seen before. Now, this is the Kraft brand from Austria. This is a Stoff, and it features a Bros motor, coil shock, and nice looking bike. Well, folks, that was a monster day. I apologise for getting a little bit emotional with the Italian duel there, but some truly amazing bikes. But folks, join us tomorrow. We're going to be taking an in-depth look at some pretty special motors.